Yeah, this is Bang Bang Rahil. Please press the like button and subscribe. Yeah, I got a sister. Yeah, a sister called Dinah, my oldest sister. She's really. I mean, she's really attractive. And a guy called Brian Cox, actor, producer, and director of films. He was good friends with my sister, and he loved the horses. And he's the guy that stood bow for me. Anyway, my sister's really beautiful, man. And I'm in prison. I've done 10 years IPP, and I haven't seen my sister for years. I've talked to her now and again on the phone, and and all of a sudden I'll come out, and Mum was telling me that my sister, what happened? She works in a pub, and and um, and what happened? She was in the pub, and there was a flood, yeah, downstairs. The sewer had overflowed, and she went down to clean it all up, and let out something to get rid of all the muck and bits and pieces. And as she's walking down the stairs, she had these flip flops on, yeah, and now pierced her toe, yeah, cut her toe. So she's still walking through all the mess and the poo and all that and this, that, and the other. And she's walking through it, and all of a sudden she's like, this is like 4 or 5 days later. She's at home, and she feels really ill, and she doesn't feel good at all. So she lays in bed, and then she decides to go and see the doctor. She goes and sees the doctor, and the doctor said that, oh, it's okay, you cut your toe, you need some antibiotics, yeah? And it'll be okay. So they give her some antibiotics, and she's still in a lot of pain. And she notices that her legs are swelling up, her right leg's swelling up when she's done it, and she's getting pain on her armpits and stuff like that, yeah? And around her groin and all them sort of things. But this goes on for weeks and weeks. And eventually goes to the hospital. The hospital give her painkillers and antibiotics and bits and pieces, yeah? And my sister, is still in a lot of pain. And she's getting so much pain, she can't even walk up the stairs to her bedroom. And nobody's taking any notice of her whatsoever. No one's really taking any notice. My mum keeps telling her, go back to the hospital, get it sorted. My sister's very stubborn. She went back to the hospital, and they give her more painkillers. They said, oh, she's got an infection, this and an infection, that, right? And this one day she collapsed in the front room. They called the ambulance. They rushed her to the hospital, and she got septicemia. I mean, all this time, she was really ill, bad. I mean, really bad. She couldn't stand up, she couldn't walk, and she had lumps under her armpits, lumps in her groin, everywhere. And she was in a bad way, mate. And it was touch and go if my sister was going to live. I don't think I'm in prison. I don't know all this. I'm in prison. This is what I've learnt when I come out, yeah? And so she can't cope with it. She just can't cope with all the pain and this, that, and the other. But she's strong, my sister. She's a horsey woman, you know what I mean? They're very strong people. So she's getting over it, the pain side of things. And they're telling her that it's septicemia. And she really broke down crying. And all this time she had septicemia, no one noticed it. This is a hospital as well as the doctors, yeah? And she just lost everything. A woman that was so pretty, so beautiful, well, she was so beautiful, my sister. I've got pictures, but I can't get them anyway. And she was so beautiful, yeah. The septicemia caused her to lose a lot of her hair. Septicemia caused her to lose most of her teeth. Her teeth was all just went rotten and started falling out. Wake up one morning, 2 teeth on the bed, things like that, yeah. And then her joints started going, and then they had to give her a plastic hip because she couldn't walk properly. And then another leg, I think she also had a plastic hip put in that one. She couldn't walk, so she's now on a Zimmer frame. And the sticks, she goes everywhere, sticks and Zimmer frame. The septicemia made it just completely messed her up, yeah. And then she couldn't eat. All her hands was all buckled up, and she couldn't eat, yeah. All buckled up, all joints, all the lumps and bumps and everything was all just all buckled up. She couldn't eat, yeah. This is what happened anyway. Evidently, she was in a bad way. Everything that could possibly happen to you would happen. Her whole body was full of poison, whole body, and you can imagine the pain she was in, and what she lost. Someone so beautiful to lose her hair, her hips, her joints, everything. She finds it very hard to walk, but she's coped. My sister's very strong. Anyway, so I'm home from prison. I've been home couple of weeks, 3 weeks. I go and see my mum, which I used to do quite a lot, yeah. And as I walk, I'll go to see her. Knock comes at the door, it's my sister. So my mum goes, I'm doing something, my mum goes to let my sister in. My sister walks to the kitchen, and I don't really know what's going on. She walks to the kitchen. She hasn't come in the front room. I'm in the front room. I haven't seen her for 10 years, maybe more than that, maybe more than that even, because living in Kingston and places like that. Anyway, I'm sitting down in the front room having my dinner, and Mum says Dinah's in the kitchen. She's just getting the dinner sorted out, and then she called my mum. Mum went out of the kitchen. I said, sit down. My mum went in the kitchen and helped my sister in. Mate, when I see her, yeah, oh dear. When I see her, yeah, oh, fucking hell, mate. Just broke down, mate. I broke down, man. I couldn't help it, yeah. And I said, why? What? Sorry. I said, why didn't anybody sorry. I said, why didn't anybody help Di? You know what I mean? Like, I know it happened there, and I was in prison when it happened. I didn't even know you. If I'd have been out of prison, that couldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened, yeah. I'd have done something to get the money to get her sorted. No one would take what done me in is that none of my family would help. My mum was ill, yeah. Anyway, but it seemed that none of the family would help. With a solicitor to help her fight to put a claim in, because it was the hospital and the doctors. It was just like they let it happen, yeah. And just, I can't even look at the camera here. They let it happen, and I was trying to even I tried to fight a little bit for her, yeah. And I don't know, man. It's a sister, isn't it? You know what I mean? And she was so beautiful, man. And she copes now, and she talks to me, yeah. And we're very close, my sister. I've never been so close as I am with her now, you know. But it, but it broke. It beat me. It beat me.